John Mahama is the president for the Republic of Ghana. Professor Nana Jane Opoku Kessben is our vice president.
Your hopes into action and creating opportunities for education, entrepreneurship, employment, and empowerment. Our policies will be tailored to sustain innovation and foster industry that engages today's young minds and equip them with the skills needed for tomorrow's challenges. Together with the private sector and captains of business, we will create decent and well-paying jobs. As we embark on this new chapter, I assure you that our decisions will champion diversity in all facets of governance, ensuring that every Ghanaian, regardless of your ethnicity, your gender, your age, your religion, or any background, will have the opportunity to contribute to our nation's story. Ghana's youth represent the heartbeat of our democracy. Their ambition will drive our policies as we strive to create an inclusive, equitable society where everyone has a seat at the table. Our vision hinges on the introduction and implementation of a 24-hour economy. We envisage an innovative and vibrant 24-hour Ghanaian economy, which will also be anchored in agriculture and agribusiness. This innovative approach would unlock potentials that have long remained dormant, enabling us to harness the energy and creativity of all our people. Just imagine a Ghana where our markets are alive and bustling at all hours of the day, with responsive public services accessible at all
Kessben.
Ghana where our markets are alive and bustling at all hours of the day, with responsive public services accessible at all times, such that businesses can operate flexibly to meet the diverse demands.
Okay, that is the president. We
young
apologize for that break in the video footage. But His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the oppressor Kenya, and what is Oboni Tofa. And now, 24-hour economy, no. I mean, one particular policy Obampenyin neni edi pa na together with a private sector and then captains of a business one more ebehwe ene you know ebetimi aba na afi one more timi akriti enyuma bebre na no ede ama emebuno now okanya kokokosi se 24-hour economy, no emphasis in the bebre so will be on agri processing, not a thing so agri business. Sir, you bet me actually my e-commerce and then so etimi aba through a year agricultural product I be produce bebre no ewo my god it looks as if you said through this particular policy, no. A lot of sectors within the economy now no ebetimi enya womo fapem ede efiho na afi individual business owners nso interested na womo be pese womo be associate with this particular policy no initiatives ahodo ehode nyina no wetimi nso ede aboa womo na afi etimi aka ho bi ma oman no afa ne ntoma pa ede efra enti those are except of a year Omampenyin speech, you know, about a year the 24-hour economy. Now, the president went ahead to give the assurances, and you know, investor confidence in our economy will form yepa reason no and it's from last 2 years ABC last year you know a lot of companies be brenano one more every Ghana echo a year neighboring countries some of them a bit is Cote d'Ivoire, a bit is Nigeria. Now the president is promising enabling environment ebeboa ma investor confidence no abano eno ehwo adwuma ana obaba be say na eno no is more emphasized on the macroeconomic indicators enkoye taxes ni ade ni nyina obehwe na waye ho adwuma said e be investors no ebesan so back into our country Ghana ma yenti omampanyi on that na yemra.
This vision will allow us to embrace diversity, to cater to varied lifestyles and preferences, and foster a culture of inclusion, ensure that every citizen can enjoy the fruits of his hard work. To the business leaders and entrepreneurs, I invite you to support this new model and join me in shaping a business environment where creativity thrives and where the fruits of your investments contribute to the collective welfare of our nation. Your role in driving our economy forward cannot be overstated.
Dr. Daniel Appiah Enkodi Enkomo Emra, I know a expert in terms of governance and then public sector reforms, looking at the details of Endra speech and address Obampenyin Emma for the very first time in about 8 years. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama delivering to the nation. Doc, Otomeka, good morning. Empom to saying.
Good morning. Thank you. My name is Busia. I also want to say.
Already, domain so beho I feel so. That's a quite our first one. In fact, we are much grateful.
All right, thank you.
Very well, but President Mahama is the president for our republic. Na the Ebeshas Eddie free and draft ceremony a course to usher him in. We are now after your Batney speech, no. So your initial impression about the Ekoso and Ewo Blaster Square.
Yeah, Enra program no. We be a Ekoso Ewo Asumuyeso na yante Bonibia ni yante Basabasa Ebian so Oshe heads of state free other countries and so Omubabe support to program no. Sanya omototo nioma enyina enra program na otumi se bibia eko kama me dey say at Ghana enimu nso oje guest of honor president Nibu Okasaye na obo Ghana abaso na otieti omo nso free other countries no mo ebo Ghana abaso na otumi hunu se bibia eko ye kama.
But so far, I mean, over more than 25 different heads of state coming to grace an occasion of this nature. Interest, then you have the Russian government representative, China, Germany, the United States, G7 and G20 countries, almost all of them. You go back to the United Nations or more envoys and then substantially almost every president within the ECOWAS and so Endra was president, including even the countries as I say one more ewo and military junta. Ediana attracting interest Endra a man Crawford to say be more Ghana hey.
I'm just a Ghana, Senia, or Mayano, Amaya Akano, Omo, Epija Ghana, no Monfa Ghana, and that form and Omo Entoto Ghana, since independence now. Ghana, Ayo Maya, what in your Yampa, especially outside Ghana. Now you be so free, and now to free Ghana. Oh, now, in Nkrumah country, Rollins country, and so Ghana, when you Yampa, especially. Ostepo Ghana na Ostepo outside now ne manfo manfo frost ejin koma na wo share senya ewiase ababe na which means for the past 5 to 10 years ewiase ntokwa etc baby bebre problems about baby bebre so wo share Russia Ukraine war to say na which means atete aman bebre intem ama sesia no on the Russian side now omo per country a be support won Russia problems a waton e oil na over problems share a western side now also per countries or more developing countries see ya to turn ya free Ukraine ni baby no so support won over your West African sub-region munso a eno so tumi say cool see our countries binomo Guinea, no many Burkina, and no many other places. Na ansana MPP abaya be free. So those are countries maybe West Africa no be to say Burkina, no many Guinea, ni Mali no. Na if you know so any NJ senior your former president Nanado or handle issues no be. E do be plan na afi binomo mine binomo issues say. The former president, use almost unfortunate situation. Military coup, any terrorist groups. What our countries, Mali, Nomine, Burkina, any other places. No, Eddie Kope and Webi Amagana in the Binumuka, Somane, and Efre, ambassador, country based Burkina, Nomine Mali, Efre, ambassador, someone be Omuano, Argentina, Nana Ado, and Namna, or Ka, Yumabone, Efa. And into no soaring in no opportunity sa countries in so inya so say omo ebeba na afi omo ne Ghana sanya antawatawa bi eba omo ne Ghana in terminal yetumi asanso sisi na Ghana yetumi use no influence no na ede aboa sa countries inti bebre na no countries na eba no tumi so mo strategic reasons inti om de buy na time na President Mahama ewo ho ansa na oba be fees na na do eba no. So it's our very, very good relations with this, especially within the West African sub-region, very, very good relations with them. And it was a strategic move, our country to try to now beyond the ceremony, Omni President, elect now, new President Mahama, Omni Eddie in Komo, Sanya, Obefaso, Omonsu bit me, I will bit me, Abua, Omono wet me, a handle, Omo Ankasa internal crisis, terrorist attacks, no money. Military issues. Countries because Mali, ni Burkina Faso put it almost every ECOWAS no crime exactly. And the almost free mono so there are consequences at the end of the day because the more so when you free ECOWAS or no mono near the almost uncabium and we live in a globalized world at the end of the day so what the whole dom it could be ECOWAS African Union no near there unya mwabi ewu and the Omobaya, almost near a President Mahama, Ebedin Como, Sanya Obetumi Abuomo, Nasa, a Kuanomo Edomi, or more Atanso Etumi, SCC and Kama. And in who say, a mind be free, no, Abba. Now, Mahama, Nansono, what to me say, the diplomatic relations, they're very good, Nintendo. To me, convince. Many of the other countries in some eternity. Not Ghana problems, ni issues are money so a war and Mwebia Yano, Omonso Saka. Or share per country based in Nigeria say ya. Although it's here, you need to do so yet, then to do so a concoy, Huniano Hanumsia. Omonso and I here a gas supply, if you are more and Sana a light to me Edinaso. And then the president in a guest of honor. I will deliver address, in the after or during such kind of occasions, a new president, any president in Bunyo can be in Como, among which means of Ghana, and my answer so uncle, a doom so mobile. In the countries surviving in an to say, will be our strategic reasons here, or the buyer, and answer Ghana and so reasons in here, the invite a binum.
Quite encouraging for all of them, sir. Omutimi acknowledge the invitation, including Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso, Ghana's Africa's youngest president. Now, no create a lot of controversies, but we'll come to that. Now, now, yamra the substantives, the address from the president and our speech Omampenyi a deliver, many have said, say, Wayade, Wakasa ye, 4 thematic areas, and Omampenyin say a scene and so. Dedikai, Mami NTO, on his policy on the 24-hour economy and calling on a year captains of industry, say, Wamunyanano, Emfa Wamunsa Emra on board, na afi Emwa, and create jobs, and farmer and mebunono. Mamintio, the details of the speech and Omaye.
Ew. That's to say, the details of the speech now or the MI and run now. Apart from say or acknowledging the global problems, and I try to any problems war within West African sub-region, and or better say obesity, the bad domestic issues, issues are already, issues are in alignment with the war manifesto, or emphasize 4 key areas. First one, no say economy, no say ayabasa na ejija no na economy no enam domestic debt restructuring near calcasi ababeda Ghana console near say IMF say no many adeno wouldn't say how emphasize say economy no a very very critical one area or say ocean. And at the same time also also emphasize say Ghana's relations with the international business community, another area, and so obession and nimia. So emphasizing how no manner here because ocean and saying, and Ghana's relations with multinational corporations, numbi binomono, and koye. They better say now multinational corporation be at the Ghana Eco International Court. It will be called arbitration because almost to say a bino any more ending year. If you said and say, what say, na a talo, or Ghana, a buying any no echo court, Ghana, Coco Honor, because almost to say Ghana, a buying entry, ye. And then also, I emphasize it. That's answer one tower, and near my pija move between Ghana, buying a multinational corporations, ni business communities, no binomo, no cramp, binomo, a party or moniama mokoyano, waba. So Baba Cressa new money obviously almost when ya a year but you movie. Oceanium the also means answer or emphasize the constitutional reform. Or can say obey na your governance system no etmia funny into my pa efrano and also ya dear immediately yano or better say obey because your constitution ya use no for 32 years I will emphasize it but or sounds which I said, Nipa be Brinano, any indeed, Yamembo, no see to be economy, so in the no area, I will emphasize it. And finally, the 4th area, no, accountability.
Kessben.
Accountability. Say, Obia Omaya de Jumedi, Asha mo answer, na fe Jumedi no mudi in the sense, say, ko ye, say, uncle ye, or say immediately, yano, or bemo about the book, or unconta. In these areas, areas are very, very important or emphasize it. Many say, who say, or emphasize the at the same time, in line with their war programs, no, as well. Or sounds actually says, economic side, don't be to me, a koya. That's a 24-hour economy, our kind, and no. Or we should say, or more ebe to whom animal.
Yes,
ma'am. And say, or more Nipa Ben soon be our appointee, or more the interim appointees. Monsha, or more ensure a Jumedino and a monto, your minus needs to be a afanona. Now, one of the appointee, Guzitano, or no, dinner, a dinner 24-hour economy, no, and so, being less nearby now, whom minister be a deal, 24-hour economy, not yet now they are so busy. And to means a idea at that now come out 3 years past 24-hour economy. No, there are the obvious Juma Bebo, a Juma Mbo, say, Yam Bebrun, Binya Juma, and the economy in business apart into my pay frano. Now I was or Shese, 24-hour economy program, no, or more a flesh and out, now for Muhunsenia or Mobile. Indeed. As Numa 9 plus 24-hour economy no emphasize them. Those are the critical issues or say obey. And then also SU Subium say 120 days social contract now. Only Ghana for one with 26 items. Woman and no Nani Ebeko.
I don't know should any back home, but it looks as if the president will have a huge tax because challenges need you name that what is left now no a year solutions are you betting me a professional afi etimi aboa in resolving them one after the other just and dry no the co-chairman for the transition team, Warajina Po Ameki concerns, say even full crana yede ebe power the thermal plant ma enkania ne jinasono. We do not have reserves. Ebetimi abua. I don't know Ababaya Chima between One, the former energy minister, Herbert Crapper. I don't know Edan Chain. Again, people are looking forward to see the no ebe stabilize it. Plus a lot of macroeconomic indicators are free and air corner. People will expect Omampenyi beye bibi ama changes being so etimi aba. Where will be the starting point? Because yenim say appointment ne de efrasia eba. But in terms of aligning the public sector, no, what is supposed to be done?
Starting point,
Yes,
no, no. I was on nominating ministers, no, especially for critical areas like energy. Na no dum so konkonya hwana no heya wan hweni ya ye ba be ko dum so mu because problem jinapo editu dwa ene ye ni ankasa yini before ansa na elections ye ba ye ko elections ye ni problem sa ana wo ho no mo ase dum so wo ho no mo ase dum so ni ho no mo ban no wo hwe ye independent power producers kwa na be na sa down e bi no mo sa down say aban no did onka na wontua ye enom ne nyama bibre energy sector ho no ma problems are also mo solve na say ye ka say ye ni minister for energy and you know or appoint ministers for critical areas like energy over education and so education ho no mean so there are many issues secondary school heads no na nkomo class say eni say school no omo ebie no on the 3rd of January na so aban no enti because I won't say aban no edi omo ka sika de aduane amankola no edi no ebi ni ho ho no mo say one area I was say nimanimi ya or appoint minister for energy minister for education and any deputy sir ho no mo so omo ehwe at the same time we shall ba health sector no so ho no mo so baby ho no mo so ehuru de den any say no so etwentwen kra and internal security and so yenya swear aban in one sheni ya to bon party members be omubu efu afi bon so mokwa ba kwa attack state institutions be ye jika ana ye pese ye ma obi a free office ana say omode friend say force e ba kwa ko bo erera baby I was yenya minister for friend say interior and national security and manimi ya amatani mani nyina no omwatumi asoso no eni manimi ya ne de and was critical areas here economy no and governance no ejina so no I was otumi appoint ministers e wo hono mo at the same time since time na making water problems are low hanging problems be energy crisis na enya de betuma 2020 so far. Although in the 120 social contract, no, baby, any one of my trust, and how much trust, ye buy be so, do so, but do so, honorable. In any miano, I was or appointed delegation. Now, for more court, normally Nigeria for no court because what share problems now, a BSS, West African gas pipeline project, no, the what share now, come person musisi, a gas pipeline, no, then so, buy now also that I know. Me convince omo emasa SCC no omo tu ekokose that nyina so was January yemu say omo dum gas no sisi a ebema edum so aba oman mu nyina aga na ho beche no into say ni manim ya no or appointed delegation na to omo konomni Nigerian counterpart no kokot na se na afi omo every schedule every omo betimi die sisi gas pipeline project amasa no kania na etumi agina so until say Ghana etumi import enough oil the power your plants and as the power your feeding. At the same time, no independent power producers been more call off. Now almost sat down because I buy an idea or set and also so delegation to me or no more agree on realistic timeline for payment. I'm almost to me as an so feed you bill. Amatano to me keep electricity no on. And these are areas that are very, very critical. Also to me solve. What's the state of the economy no so see here There are many areas utie abujina kasa ne mpanimfo bi kasa sama no mo ye transition no assurances omunyae no omoba ben no omo se nya sa na sibitie.
Okay.
And into say nya sa na sibitie dia na o say immediately omoma parliament invite former minister CB minister for former minister for energy, former minister for education. No mo ba parliament e ba be yin sama no mo kire oman no baby a ejina sese ye ba energy, ye ba education and as ye ba health. And into no eno ehu ebe hia kese pa. So eno no so no betumi akoda nimu a na e was a parliament so omutumi constitute sa standing committee ne select committee no intentem pa. Because that's what we know. Emrani just I was a member of parliament here, a member of at least one standing committee and one select committee. A shema yemai moto ebeto to a jubedini na ano. Then say ya kasenya jo mwe wi nti say honum so mu ye intentem pa ama so mu be invite former minister ana pani bi kwa no aba no aba be church o man no say o man no negina bia etia yenim committee chronic committee members kwa was say o mu ye responsible. And it is very, very important, very critical. Also, move within wiki, and I say, now divided. Now, be simony. No, I say ministers for this critical sector. So I say, yeah, point you. Now, at the parliament, so to me, if we constitute more committees, you know, to me move intent.
Very well. Finally, the speech in the BBI. Did it really inspire hope in the Ghanaian person and or TV home it's here and then the business community in general?
I'm saying share the nature of the incoming government, no crampona, a idea inspire hope. And this is the first time Ghana about being a vice president or Oba. And in speech, a speech emphasizing inclusivity. I say, we use the word inclusivity, and inclusiveness, miensa, and I say, and yeah, abaya, eba, beye, abaya, ama, NDC, for and I say, baye, kukufubo, abaya, woody anymore. Na ye USC and change. Na obey abang obey obiadia. Interno no yadia na a shame crying casepa at the end of the day. Oja no emphasize the area say ya buying so aba and ma na first no ye sha banya among kaho and I said craving about abamuno yadia mo better say mo now be emphasize gender equality. In these areas, no, in areas I say in crime power, and some emphasize say youth, no, so no, a youth, no, baby, munya juma, and educational system, no, or baby, no, motiti, if we no munya juma, you know, so, or better say, or mobile so, so, ano. In the speech, all round, a share in crime power. Then, when we say in crime study, yeah. Ya tibida nemu mejabo ejane nyaba the see ejuma bre na edu nti nkwan sane de eyese wase nkwan nemu ejuma bre na edu nti ehwese ejuma no ebekoso.
Very well, Doc. I don't pay mame and now I say I'm highly grateful for what your time.
Yo, men so me that was na ichia etiefo nyina so ebium.
Etiefo nyina so eje so enti Dr. Daniel Appiah is with the Department of Public Administration, University of Ghana, senior lecturer ada Yaneno Eddie and Kombono governance and political expert speaking to us. I don't pay on the sidelines of Endra the course so ewo a year the Black Star Square the inaugural ceremony for the president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Mamifa asidani bi ema ama Ghana rice na anope womo adaroma womo abwa yepa mpacho ope eye #1 premium rice ewo Ghana drama nso sesia eye papa na yaye wo Ghana hadia eye ama Ghana rice eno ananope efie bia mu ehia se obetimi eyisu aduane bia wo ye bia no mpacho there must be an ama Ghana rice se eye rice balls mutuo ana wo ye jollof rice, fried rice na wo ye rice porridge and adea pacho ni nyina no ope emo a eye papa ebe yi 11 na ebe so afrefre domedi amawa ama Ghana rice na make kamfo edi amaw anope mo operating restaurant mo pe emo ano atono anope ama Ghana rice ebie ne puno mo ede ato ho se bra na woni no emedin sa woso ubenya ne dodo mu atu na afi wonso odi akwakodi ojuma eno echi no opese ebedane o business na afi wutu bi eton as a wholesaler mpacho ni nyina no akwanya kese ewo ho edemau se wonso ubetimi aba na wonso woni womo aba bedi ensa woso adopai fro womo na woni womo enkasa 0537 029 464 0537 029 464 and after 0207 676197 na woni womo eni enkomo omo twa kwan ewo eye La Paz womo ewo adjacent the Eco Bank na anopei woni womo eni ensa woso womo ebeje woso pa na memfa asedane bi emma Chocho Industries na anopei Chocho product no egumu ahodo pi ewo dwamai so enti wokwa wonsa ebeka bi mpacho baabi a wonam bia no ma Chocho product no ebi emmewo se eye Chocho ba mpacho waposo eye oya wokwa adwuma na wodru fi aya na wote brepa wo honam ya no aya na waposo nyina no etutua anopei one eye Chocho for any ensa woso eba no eye Chocho skin toner pacho eye body cream a wo de strasra eboa lighten wo skin up ama skin no any da ho ye pa rashes bia no ni nyina no ebeko anopei ma wonsa entimi enkebi Chocho BPT ewo ho wa wo blood pressure pacho anopei wasori nonombi na ebetu ni nyina no ase ede amount ema no pacho wo ye wuti uno no tri ni mu a na ebubu anase etete ni nyina no ye problem a Chocho product no ebekio ede amount ye won shampoo hair food ana afi ni conditioner enti anopei ma wonsa enka Chocho product ni be supermarket ni nyina no eton bi eno echi no okọ shopping malls ahodo ni nyina wo benya bi wo pɛ no dodo mo atu nso a wone wo ebedi enkomo na wo bejo so ahwe aboa ama wonso wonsa akabi for one more on 055 181 5388 055 181 5388 and after 0244 727348 0244 727348 ubetimi after 050 0504 555535 0504 555535 na one eye Chocho eni enkomo anopei na EKD phone set me can show say aja one more ede eye installment packages ede aba enchi anopei phone bi a wo pay you so dia one more the installment payment no ede aba almost a brand abeje phone a wo pay bia na wo use no na fe wo to bo ase tu twa den kakra EKD phones so say mo amoye iPhone lovers and I say Apple lovers but any brand of iPhone a wo pay bia brand na oni o mo medi nkom wo mo beje osika kakra de ato ase no achi no wo mo be mo akwanya se de aka wo mo be spread na won so watimi atu den kakra na etimi aboa ma won so buy a guy pa na o si town just enya guess ejado pempacho wo phone ye wo the rubber band na de abomu a woni EKD phone say ni nkomo aketesi ayeshia oni eje wo number phone screen aye tantan pacho EKD phone sadaro wo best sadi nyina no e de ama wa no pay ejebra and we no phone accessories bi a wo pay say hands free na wo pay screen protection and na e cases wo the phone no e be share nyina no EKD phone say de bra na wo the omomedi ensa wo so wo won cry ha na wo ni odor rice na e dey share anymore e wa American more anymore and pay for one more on 0539 985750 0539 985750 and after 0536 787973 0536 787973 na when the EKD phones ending komo anopay na wo mo bejo so ye pa. Kwame Appiah Kubi. Thanks so much for your time. It is only 8:30. This is Kessben 92.9. Maakye Jumedieno Eso Eni na Anopei. Mamena was once again. Minia Kwedi Atenase, the African Policy Ganso Atenase, and I think so. Dr. Ramza Enusa and so Atenase, one a senior national communication team member for a year movement for change. Adopay one Atenase. Yashe Nimusa Yenuya Bema, the honorable member of parliament for Hamenfi East, Nicholas Amankwa. As well, will be joining us in the studio for the discussion. Mame Emba Mabidra for no action. Na Mema Womo Akwaba. Doc, good morning. Empom to saying.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker.
If you are fine.
Nyamiadum, Nyamiasi, Afisha Pa.
I think commentary. Happy New Year.
Mame Dika Enchia, Etiefoni na Ani Ashefo, Moshe, Nigana Foni na Mema Obuya Afisha Pa. Every yera otitrini onimonyamni Honorable Alan Kojo Tramatin mahu say temperature na change na yedanyamiase
temperature change okrom ha
na yedanyamiase
dogs no be anto yo
but isu atokakra
I see
aha na yedanyamiase say de bia ye call election na as a temperature na aye high na obia kikan sema emfata but at the end of the day no na yetena ha no ye hu say Ghana edi nkunim enu na ehia nti asema America no say Ghana edi nkunim biom tama Africa ye hwepe omanya ye betime set example ama oman hodro bebre America kra ya biti omo me catch wene
me too
the greatest democracy ever we are in the United States of America and then Ghana ya biti omo
kwan ben so
okay January 6 ade see ever America Trump lose election na one gentleman omo ko omo parliament the Capitol Hill ekohye no ema police po wuye nkofo bebre wuye ba ye hunu wo ye krum ha intinu sebi no metima ka say we are also one of the best democracies in the world inti anu de mebo de kan no mebo yewra omampanyi dada okọ eni na bejetri Nana Addo Akufo no ni Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia especially Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia say o consider early ohun signal no e consider early no ema niema ekofom ema attention no kofom also Akufo Addo what me handle over peacefully to the next government no any era George Akufo Dampare police IGP any military commanders are omo we are in charge of election security ni na ebo mo abaso sebi do ye hu center watawo bi kakra bi siye but at the end of the day no they were able to maintain the peace of our country intino omuni na yabo mo abaso and we thank them so much for service omo dia ma ya man Ghana
kedu ya baji
good morning, Minia.
Ebane yo very brutal. Easy. No matter
actually. Kessben. Hey, we are very fine.
You're fine.
Mr. Speaker, me bana made interview and I was listening whilst on my way, and I like the way you put the questions, and if you remember saying Rano, we are so fine. The four thematic areas, these are key areas. I think John Dramani Mahama promised to look at quickly and extensively. Resource person on in the Kasai, also touched on a lot of things and even went further to talk about the even reasons are. Emma, people even came into the country yesterday, and challenges I also say you're looking at. I think, look, BBR set it, like my brother was saying, BBR set it. We with the democracy, we've deepened it. I mean, yes, the echelon of democracy, the leaders when it comes to democracy on the continent. But look, we showed it right from the elections till yesterday, the ceremony. Everybody came to see it. But what is left now is how to move forward as a nation together. We've had an election. Somebody won, somebody lost. We understood ourselves. We went for swearing in. We are done. We've handed over. Let's see how together we can move on. So that's why I like my brother this morning. Movement for change. I mean, he shows that collectively. I like the way he spoke. Collectively, we have to come together. All the parties who lost, who went into the elections, who lost, those who won, we come together. And that was why it was beautiful to see Honorable Alan Tremantain there yesterday, seated with all these people who lost in the elections.
And I think that Cheddar so, right?
Yes, it was with Cheddar and all. And the unity and the beauty yesterday. Everybody. And it shows the unity. And I love it. And this country, look, we just have to support each other and we'll go forward.
Very well. Go for report, Maakye.
Yeah, Kwame.
That is it.
Nyame adomara Kwame.
Mami ntio kakra na young twash.
Oh, Kwame ketu bi se nyame adomara kwa. President Mahama nyame aton super de agu na yi so. Se opeso stage comeback no. Na Kwame me de me ade ba ko pe na meka. Ntio. Ni se ye ko yanum na we see more but a quite of us were described Nana Danko Kufuado as a wealthy opponent. And in some more kind of fan how you eulogize the president, former president. And the hack.
Kessben.
We have never seen it before in the history of this country. Seeing a two opponents almost haggy, the hack that he gave to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Yamanin konkoye cosmetics. Yamane nkonkoya adie bia ase yaye sa ade na wie but ye kokotena wie afere ne ye beto jobs na guma sa create problem ama this country de bia me ka se enkura e ba radio so a normal ginger omomo mu di atemi na free sa ade no se ye ka ya no tum ne ye ja propaganda no a se ade na ti say ya let the whole Ghana and who say to say documentation ye call transition no say na net here. And me conquer Danano because to score a cheap political points. Now the opposing side so Kwame de be catch from so say. Sa adia no mu jano hono say na net here. Omo be kanche say na net here. You understand? Me ko can different thing na san ko create problem about this country. Kwame nipa ba Ghana about 25 head of states. Omo mantimi amama omo running mate sorry omo vice president eba na. Kwame on be had you. You understand? They also came to learn something. So, Oba Bano Omo Kono Nukwa say, Chiedo Ombeko na they are hearing say Ijada Ghana. Man Peninua or Neba Kona Hage no. A fei we to man yonko na we are to man yonko or they inspire the democracy that we are looking forward to see. So that is that. And President Mahama so Asudia Babedano so because 4 years and then no matter what he's saying. And how damaged, according to him, how damaged this country. You are damaging it to know. People are watching. The reset that he's talking about, we are looking forward to see it. Say, what do you be doing? Pempensubia, they said on one case, the Ghana that we want. They make what I say. It's a sudi case here, and then so Kwame, we are here to watch him and all that. That's all.
All right, 39 minutes after 9, after 8, I have Kessben 92.9 live on Kessben TV. And Mena was it, but my young co Endra in an interview with Jinapo, a year chair to a year the transition committee and as a team on the side of a year John Mahama at the swearing in ceremony no made some comment in an interview. Ma yenti numra na yabaya twaso.
Just today, the confirmation we are getting is that we have only 5 hours of fuel stock. If you look at heavy fuel oil and distillate fuel, we don't have up to 2 days And so in 2 days' time, we are likely to run out of fuel. This administration has not ordered any fuel as we speak. And it takes on average 4 weeks for the fuel to arrive and 4 weeks for the fuel to be treated. And so we are in a very serious situation. At the transition, we brought this up. The outgoing administration assured us that they had procured some parcels of fuel. Today, right after President Mahama assumed office, and I served on the transition, my checks indicate that we do not have fuel that can cater for even 2 days. So clearly we have a major problem. And this is an incoming administration. Even if you order the fuel, like I'm telling you, it will take about 8 weeks. So we are in for real trouble. Well done, I have bad news for you.
All right, and that is a year Jidapo no Anandra what is or Casado. But in response of this, the outgone energy minister at the statement Bob on team Mame Enkai na afi yentwaso na menshasi or doctor na yenin komo or say keep the light on as we did you are in government. I have read a statement from the Honorable John Jinapo, MP and co-chairman of the transition team and subcommittee on energy and natural resources, in which he claims that massive load shedding looms as Ghana's fuel stock depletes and seeks to blame His Excellency President Akufo-Addo and his government for it. Mr. Jinapo is wrong. Load shedding does not loom. It is caused either by technical or emergency power generation issues, or a lack of competence in managing the power sector. Mr. Jinapo seems to be hunted clearly by the latter. By the time of leaving office, President Akufo-Addo's government left in stock light crude oil, which Send Power currently generates power with, whilst ASCA continues to take delivery of heavy fuel oil, which it generates power with. This fact is easily verifiable with a phone call to both power plants. The responsibility of the new administration is not only to procure more liquid fuel to keep the light on whenever liquid fuel becomes required to complement gas supply, but also plan competently to avert power supply disruptions. We did it, and they can do it too if they can. The NDC government should get to work as we did. The reason we kept the light on for 8 years, regardless of the difficult times, and stop the needless finger pointing. That is not the way to keep the light on. Herbert Crapper, former energy minister, and he signs that in a post or day a year statement, Eddie Abba, but quite an interesting one. Baby asan komoy a free eba any baby a echo. Mame enshasi wo doc so doc mame tio on this subject for 10 minutes. Yehu swearing in adwuma na shasi anisa. But I mean some of these issues will come up. I was surprised even as at Endra inaugural ceremony air course offer a year La Paz and any enclave Ekora ni boy town Tantra Hill near Dini Yinano and draw no pa Ekosi the Ria Suninano, the lights were off. And I don't know what is happening with the energy sector, but seemingly some of these debates and arguments will come up. Mami Entio, Doc.
Yo, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Oh, sir. Sometimes we only plan for today and not tomorrow. Mekai the vision of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. And the reason why all the diversity about energy sector. So Okaya Osi Akosombo. And then he introduced a nuclear reactor and instituted the Atomic Energy Commission.
Kessben.
Yeah, share Chrome ha. And the interventions are energy sector more.
Yeah.
There are a lot of challenges. Right? Number one, the contracts that we sign with IPPs is an issue. Okay, the take or pay agreements are previous then Mahama government Omoni IPP signing the power purchase agreement, which this previous government, MPP previous government, had to renegotiate and then save some monies and all that. So now, then we also have issues with infrastructure. As it is now, currently, transmission lines we lose a lot of energy from transmission.
Okay.
Right? Then we come down to the distribution aspect and marketing. A lot of monies is lost from that aspect because ECG is not able to recoup back its monies. You understand? Due to illegal connections and corruption in the company. And of course, the policies idea to for our energy sector now. Ultimately, say a very, I would say, a cake, a just superficial, and cause baby, entina debia no ye kadum so asem. And na ye kasano. Menua eka say, oh, Honorable Alan Kojo traumatic crowd ko share President Mahama. Inti ye the plan be a mano. Yes, a great transformational plan.
Okay.
Sebi no. Enye nyansa ni obakufo team. Inti ya share your vision also for Ghana to help this current government because yeni na ye pese Ghana ekonenim. Se Ghana ekonenim a yeni na ye beko enim. Dum so na Abuja po ka ho asem no. Se ebeka yeni na businesses will suffer. We propose that we need to diversify your energy portfolio. Very critical.
Okay.
And now we share your energy generation now. 57% of your energy generation is from thermal energy plants. To say Sogli,
Sun
power. What you say?
Yeah.
Intino, we realize that the fuel, diesel, is a highly volatile commodity in the market. Prices no fluctuate, and the more we are getting to the sustainable development goals, no agenda for a green economy and a green world, no oil mafias, no omu increasing omu price and they are reducing production because they want to recoup back investments. Oshe agenda OPEC for ashisheni na, so it's not looking well. Okay. So then, as a country, how then do we look at a sustainable form of energy? And the Honorable Alan Kojo Tramante Akache Ghana for in this great transformational plan say, let's look at nuclear energy. Nuclear energy is clean, very, very efficient, and they can power Ghana extremely and meet our industrial energy needs. Uko ama who be China. Nuclear energy plants. France, they are powered by nuclear energy plant. Omu uranium efi Niger. Intino Honorable Alan Kojo Tramante akasa atrom. So now let's look at the way forward. Ye say, okay, we are running on thermal energy plants. Let's now build a team, experts. We can transition some of massive, over 50% of our energy source to nuclear. And then these remote areas in the solar. So that going forward, no doom so will be a thing of the past. This is what we want to see collectively. Now, to solving Ghana's energy crisis once and for all. Because it's easy. And yeah, easy. If every year, according to the ORCP report, we lose $3 billion from corruption. Imagine if we are able to tighten the loopholes and use this money to build a nuclear power plant. Or not only even use government money. We have the private firms, venture capitalists need their kick on. Let the private sector come and build the infrastructure, and then you pay them off maybe a BOT facility or something like that, and then we can be able to save some public funds. And I believe that to me transition these things will be the thing of the past. I mean, I have visited a nuclear power plant before in China.
Okay.
So I know exactly what I'm talking about. And that nuclear power plant now me visit here in China. It's powering a very massive industrial hub in China, industrial parks. Niema bi a efi China kra eba ha no kra efi da industrial parks honum. So exactly if we're able to replicate same ebeboa ama ye djuma konenim ama ye vision to reorient our economy from an import driven one to an export driven one. It will be realized because at the end of the day for industrialization to be realized you need the backing of a robust energy source. Only stable energy supplier. Our energy source ebo any former and ultimately industrialization. I mean, we've seen the first industrial revolution. We know what powered it. Until we have to go back to the books. Na yenjai politics ayeye. Okay. This issue with the transition team deputy chairperson, Mr. Jinapo, any comment against that of Krapa, and that is why I agree with my senior lecturer, and my teacher, Dr. Appiah or Tremi Ade, our University of Ghana. Yes, so I'm also a master of public admin. Okay. Yes. And Wabin Pa to set that straight. Wabin Pa. Into Parliament should call them in, set up a committee, and inquire into these issues because these are grave issues. Say we only have 5 hours cover of diesel. It is a serious issue. It is a serious energy security issue we are going to deal with. Not after the air politics. That is why one of the themes underpinning the movement for change say, Ghana.
Yes, but the concerns, will also be, from where he sits as co-chair of the transition subcommittee on energy and natural resource, he might have certain data abayano ede amawomo. And which the outgoing energy minister Herbert Krapa must as well equally have certain data and how the whole thing is looking like. Now, share a year the thermal power plant it's not just Sen Power and then the other one Asogli and Ekoko are there. I mean, just Sen Power and the other one Krapa a boy yenepe. In fact, those are not the only plant or more air power thermal no Emma ye power no. So I mean, I feel say yes, Jinapo might have made the allegation, but what stopped Herbert Krapa from giving us the details about the stock of fuel? I mean, ye wo ewo honoma wo more eja in place to the incoming government. I mean, I feel say he could have just used that opportunity to tell the Ghanaian people say ABCD is the amount of fuel but why are we still coming back to this issue?
But I mean, before you come in, you realize that this thing has been there prior to the election.
Yes,
the two of them yes, and the two of them have been also bantering in the media. We say. Like you're saying, put data together. Let's see who is saying what, and let's see what we have, so that we can reconcile and move forward. Because look, it's a security issue, like you say, it's a security issue, and we shouldn't play politics with it now. There's a government in place. We are moving forward. Let's reconcile data. Let's see how we can look at alternative energy sources. Right now, we've been talking about these alternative energy sources for how long? For how long have we been talking about it? Are we going to play politics now with it? Because doomsday is imminent too. I on social media, my friend was telling me, he just texted me and he posted it on Facebook. Or say, Enra, the whole of their area went off like that. Boom.
No, that is a fact. I was really surprised. Enra na inaugural ceremony, okay? Oko La Paz area, Muho, Kofadi Boy Town, Edeko Tantra Hill. In fact, Tantra Hill cried here for some time now. It maybe a omudum light, and said you get it. But the question is that what exactly is the problem? Yes, IPPs, yenim say moka, but Krapa could have done us a favor and a good one by telling us Jinapo cannot make such allegation because ABCD amount of fuel is what we have left in stock. The man is only saying, we have 5 hours of fuel reserves to power the thermals. And you are also referring to the fact that send power, fuel to power. Now, if send power, fuel to power, what about the other power generation plants? Do they equally have the fuel to power? Send power and fuel. Not other ones, no, any fuwala. What it means is that the other ones may go off the grid, okay? Send power will be on the grid. Send power and quantity means supply to the peak demand, and so you would have to share the load at any point in time. So Krapa could have helped us in doing so. Why did he, deviate from that aspect? Now coming into the politics of it's a matter of management and it's a matter of competence and it's a matter of this. I feel said the throwing of tantrums, is not helping anybody. But respond to that now, Doc. Remember,
Speaker.
Yes.
Sena Okayan.
Yes, sir.
Menu we are doing. Say at least. Yenhwe Ghana, the Eboboa Ghana.
Yes, sir.
In regards to this banter between Krapani and Jinapono, I feel say media, more journalists, any media houses. You are the fourth estate of the political realm. No, you also have a duty to play.
Yeah.
Intino mubeti mi akuku shemu. You can go and investigate and let us know the truth. You can visit these IPPs and request data from them and ask them questions. Say model 2 just say or model mokano. What you say? You can go there and ask so that we know what, because we all nim yanum. Yeah, nim yanum. Almost at politics. That is why. And I said, I did.
I said when nim yanum.
And I said, me can say, almost at politics. And this is an issue that, to me, it is petty. Electricity, 2024. A man who drove a bray, doing saying shifting from the third industrial revolution to the fourth industrial revolution.
Yeah.
We are here today talking about what? Electricity generation and doom so. How pathetic is that?
All right. Now remember,
Yes, Kwame. First of all, Orejinapo. He has every right to tell us the state of Ghana energy, the power. They make what I say. Mr. Krapa issue ya okay. Kwame.
Yes.
Let's also babontin. Ebe chire yen. DM Orejinapo kame. You just swipe the person, but what are your details? Say what is left can only cater for this country for 5 hours, right? The oil now can for 5 good hours. So next Korea Krapa no, it is never true. We left this a bit me cater for us for this period of time. Then we are sad automatically you have assigned the media to cross-check, and I say the media to chase that fact. So we will go there not omubi yeah, dear one can ask me yeah, we say but you see Kwame Honorable Abujinapo.
Yeah.
My main case ask me see infantry. The oil
Kessben.
All right to do that to tell her the state. But Ghanaians are not interested. Ghanaians wouldn't be interested in this. I'm telling you. He made us to understand that government needs $50 million to buy fuel. That was about 4 months ago, 3 months ago. Our parliament, as a ranking member of Energy and Mines Committee, he said it. So it is there that there's no money. And so today, Saaka only 5 gallons, even 1 liter. Obiad me said there was no money. You understand? That is why we voted against this government. The reason why they voted out this country, they voted out NPP, they say, state na ni woman and conforce ye $50 million to purchase fuel for the thermal plants. And $50 million na ye nyano. Adiano kwa na eko for medum. So we voted out NPP. Send ye by adianu dum kra. That is that. And what about power?
Yes,
Kwame.
Yeah.
Men are now what you conquer war Ashanti region. And what ya umasono. He's not interested in the technical things going on. The debate. Go and look for this money. Go and fill the gas. Today is a doom son of bar. Obia be catch you say Mahama brought Dumso, Akufo-Addo came to kill Dumso, then Mahama came again, Dumso is there. I'm telling you. Because he's giving us a picture. The American watch I say. Because Kwame is here. Say that be kwa. Nebi a free Kessben.
Yeah.
Microphone ya juma. And I'm Mr. Kojo Preko. I'm Mr. Kojo Preko. Mr. Kojo Preko eko. Microphone is ni bi nya juma. We nya juma. Obi fufro eba. Nipa na oba because of that na a delivering koso intimi koso yi. Nipa na oba no. Enkofo si Mr. Preko nyade. And ye dey eko. Nipa na oba no. He has no excuse to complain. Because listeners know at 8 a.m. Say delivering a here omo.
Kessben.
Jamaican watch say it's a free say Mr. Preko nyade and yamana comedy perform for. You have no right to complain about me buy no microphones nya adwuma ne that. Nobody is interested in that. The otie na otie wan kokko no wonim sad no woni ha and wetie yai. They should move and go and work. Whether Herbert Krapper will come out with idea yo and yo say so addressing here as I say more details. Yes, as a former energy minister, we need details. Jamaican what I say. But one farmer who loses?
No.
Yes, he's gone. That is why people were not interested in Boache Jacon's jargons. He was telling us that NDC have signed a contract, take-or-pay contract with independent power producers. We were paying $40 million every month. Nobody was interested in that. What we're interested in say keep the light on because Mahama brought your friend say Ameri mebwa. He brought Ameri and
car power.
Yes, car power. And 3 months before the election, there was no Dumso.
Kessben.
Election 2016. There was no Dumso. It's a fact, mebwa. So you came to power. Nessa normal air kochwa. Tell the people the truth and fan question the previous government. They are gone. There's no amount of excuse, no amount of technicalities and legalities to tell us say who the BB question and now do don't Akufo-Addo. Say be cry or say be asabi or we na be papa beat in the baby. He's watching. So go and fix the problem. Then move on. Don't go casting be the power. I would have wished Kwame. This country yen swallow your egos. Now yen borrow ideas. Salif Johnson told President Mahama, which I read it yesterday, that John, you have a major role to play as you leave the state house. You still have a major role to play to develop Ghana, Africa, and worldwide because we need your competence. We need ideas. Some normal can American tis how other advanced countries no more advanced no ye ko hoba de bia na ani agene tis how. Alan has the great transformational plan. He said that let us use nuclear. Dr. Mahmoud Baumia is telling you that we use solar panels so that it can cut down the energy cost for 50%. Let's investigate that at the end of Papa can crack. So if you tap it, a bit me aboy. Kwame, who now call you Azerbaijan 1 month ago. You told us that the oil companies have started running from all this oil thing. Everybody's moving forward. Today, when you go to Morocco, they are doing wind power. In 2018, 13.48% of Morocco power, wind power. For that's a 2022, 2024, they are moved to 54%, and people from Madrid, Las Palmas, Bulgaria, they are borrowing, tapping energy from Morocco, wind power. And more electricity. Let us start all these things. Not come and say free Alan honey free bar or Debbie or Becca say if we Baumia hold the free bar or Becca say Debbie. You move forward as a country. We need to develop this country. And your ideas. Sabaumia dia na be borona wa recoachino. Redecorating near we say no cry. Kwame will want to first have that so that we can move forward as a country.
All right, 4 minutes after 9. Remember also, Doc. My main fast than be ODK Herbal Center for now. Pay one more Roma. Woman so asoye mupa ODK dear Pacho a number 1 Herbal Center and they Arabia asho swacha adane ko ankrobia no Pacho what they call one more asoya one more tomu boase edi hahama account eyi ni nyina no edi a free ho eno nti anopay se wotie mi ampacho wo digestive system no aye weak ama issues bebre na no ana aba anopay fu ani chiremu ewo eye ODK Herbal Center eno achi no wa stroke chronic infections ni nyina no ha wadwe asthma mpacho ye see her matan di mu ama wo situation no aye worse off ni nyina no okọ eye ODK Herbal Center for aso ya womo ebetu ase ede amount typhoid and afi fibroid sciatica ni nyina no womo eye ho adwuma enti adopei se utie me na ope Herbal Center baako ana Herbal Clinic baako a wokọ womo enam ebibidro kwan so ebetu yare ni nyina no ase ede amount dia pacho ko eye ODK Herbal Center for asoye na wode womo enkodi ensa woso enkra ha obehu womo ewo Makati Hill womo ewo adjacent the Akawe Hospital na afi wodru Kumasi Abreman West womo any Shell filling station no ana edi enhwe ni mo fresh 0505 518104 0505 518104 and after 055 929758 na one eye ODK Herbal Center for any and sawoso na womo ebejo so Eclipse collateral management for Daromba pacho womo se men kanche wa no pay Eclipse aba na afin so womo eboa mo watimi etwa afini nyina wo business ni begina na ni nyina no efrin hye papa ene Eclipse for ede egu akwema wonso ode wo ho ehyebubi Eclipse se men kanche say wo ye business owner ene open loan ede free bank oni collateral oni womo eni enkomo de omo ye nyina no ene se womo boa assist with collateral na etimi aboa ama wonso wasiki o loan no a wo pese wo de share wadwumani mu eno achi no se wo ye ajapade ewura wa ye nkrata de ato ajapade so a wo de ba Eclipse for aso ya womo eje nkrata no na afi womo de aye adwuma na womo atua commission ewo ho eno nti anopay oni Eclipse collateral management for any ensa woso ewo Abakan Street Adentan new site ewo nkran ha na wone womo enkasa 0266 999020 0266 999020 and after 0302 551877 0302 551877 na when Eclipse collateral management for any enkomo anopay opposite na dro no imbustable mixture e wo dwaman so baby abefa bia no mpacho obenya bi ato open number 1 immune system booster a eboa ma woni padua no enya ahoden sonko edi kutia yare bia dia anopay imbustu no ana mekan for edi ama bo homoden na ma wonsa enka bi ebeboa wo yie ebema immune system no aye strong na fe infections ahodo ne ba womo etimi akon edi etia mpacho ko herbal shops ni nyina mu obenya bi chemical shops pharmacies ahodo ni nyina no eton bi na open dodo mu etudia and pay for one more on 0246 208496 0246208496 na when imbustable mixture for any enkomo adopay na one more ebejo so doc na opese will make a comment and say na make yes I mean you
me name nua wa e adwen pa me yewra ginapo edina asem etodwa no me dwen se yeni na anim constitution hyehyɛ omodo to homa parliament say parliament emma oversight over the executive and yes sir inti crap no of infa isn't it a cabinet minister so who are your ranking member for mines and energy otias here
yes
o chairman no ye atachia honorable atachia mutumi tena ho emma asem ebesi Ghana and Emremu then what was your responsibility in the legislature because you were supposed to give oversight anameboa
yes but oversight there is also a responsibility on the government so the oversight you raise the queries you raise the questions but at the end of the day say abaino take initiative now what is there for the committee to do
so oversight they say part of the things they say you always have like a quarterly report on what do you call it, fuel stock. It's part of the oversight. Then and yes, omodi subobo abain dada, because that is why Ghana for evotiti and they are gone. Yeah. That is why omodi Yera John Dramani Mahama ebetu akonya no so. Say onfa Ghana enko nanim say na all promise here no. People voted for them based on the policies and the promises they made. But say be oman we ya NATO country, no action, talk only. Yakasa yenyeshi.
So the fact again is that
what were they doing in Parliament?
Will you blame Jinapor for having raised the concern and as an issue say because Utie interview at Jinapor he did that Endra ewo Black Star Square.
Exactly.
Okay. Now the question is that it is barely 24 hours akonya until President Mahama was sworn in yesterday. He was not the president. There were people in place. And the fact is that once you are in place, you need to get to work. So the question I'm asking is that Onona was subcommittee co-chairman for the energy, transition.
No, a ranking member.
No, I'm just coming say for the role I will play on the transition team.
Okay.
What could he have done? Okay. And then within the last 24 hours, yede Omampenyi Mahama esisui. What can he also do? Because he is saying, asat endra na yewo inaugural ceremony hono. This were the report they had. And the question is that what ought to be done as at endra besi anopeya yeni wo edisa nkomwe.
Kessben.
Menya. Oh say yesi agrobe there if you anopa tututu. Tama omodi America power buy no. Okay? I personally thought that was a short-term intervention towards our doom so. What the MPP government should have done was to look for a long-term sustainable energy solution.
Yeah.
Into Subon that Subon there medebebo MPP na medabo NDC susa. Omu bienu ni na because speaker kasano Nkrumah Owu ko ache.
Yes, but Akosombo still lives on.
It still lives on. Yeah. These two entities have been in power for 32 years since the inception of our fourth republic. Yeah. But they we go always in circles, near about the same spot. Intino, Yera Jinapor, Asemo Okayen. My only concern is that you are a ranking member of Mines and Energy. You are in the legislature, and so oversight over these key issues. Yeah. You should even request a quarterly report on the fuel stock of the country, because it could also be that political tactics that mischief almost set him on. Politics. Sabotage. It's politics. To favor the propaganda and the optics.
Yeah. So you shrug it off.
You understand? So this is why Yedu Omoko Parliament to give oversight over the executive.
Exactly.
Into one team yes ajumani here. Who then do you blame? Nipa ne de Ghana for say omo anya de omo pe omo. Omoko.
Yeah.
Okay. Very well. Now, I mean, on that.
Let me take off from where he landed. He landed or ended, because Omoko, like I said, the reason they voted them out was because of this problem. Okaya, prior to the elections, there were this little Dumsona, Abana, Eko, and 3 hours be now caught. Na I said we were suspecting something like that, and they were able to deal with it briefly before the elections. But the problem was still there. There were a lot of problems there, and like you say, oversight responsibility in Parliament. You were there. You were there. You had knowledge of this. So for him to come now and be saying this, is the people are gone. Yeah. So the responsibility is, if say Dumso start here, nobody is going to say previous government na it is you. Yeah. So it is high time they start looking for money to solve this issue once and for all. There's alternative way of getting my brother we kind earlier. I mean, look, why are we going back and forth on the same thing? Can't we get knowledge elsewhere like others are doing? We made mention of Morocco. Morocco is working with wind. Can't we do the same? Can't we do something? Well, the resources are there. What I mean, the ideas are lost. Can't we learn from others? It's interesting.
What was Mame?
Very
Speaker, Mame Faba Kahon. What was Minya? OSHA reports are about. You see, if you look at the supply chain aspects, right, of the what feeds into the fuel for the IPPs are, ultimately, say politicians and the political elites, no, omunsa bebreshim. I know they are. I'll tell you emphatically.
Yeah.
So the political will and interest to move away from that, no, and the risk to them, no, is high.
Yeah.
The benefit is less than the risk. Because they are not going to benefit. Because procurement, no, omunsa na ewum. Omun turn these diesel to these IPP. If you go and look at it, go and dig and you see it. And know that is why Yeka say we need to begin to have people that think of this country.
Okay.
Minya, 32 years new. And we are back on the same issue. A lovely country like Ghana. Peace I want. Anka amambi ewa Africa was our peace now. We just need good leaders. That is the only thing. No, that is the only missing puzzle. And Ghana. If we have the right leadership, Ghana be kuneni.
Very well. My main kind messages in the Musa Abatwa sends this one in. And Musa said, "Good morning, Mr. Speaker. How can an outgoing government turn around and tell the new administration to find fuel to run the country? This appears to be a deliberate attempt to saddle John Mahama with the label of doomsday. Somebody must be held accountable. It is imperative that those responsible are arrested and made to answer for this gross negligence. Leadership must come with responsibility." You sent in that one, Musa. Thank you for a message. Sodo serum ede aba sodo medase what they na what turn it it is too much. The way I will post here the another. That's Nana Konedu Kondua ede aba or say Ziga things. Just a day in government can change the mess created by the outgoing government. Masa swallow your ego and pride. Which one is the ego and pride about this? AI moment at the Aba or say you guys were in Ghana here. You shouldn't blame John Mahama for that, okay? You guys are all hypocrites. Doomso has been with us. And what do you mean by less than 24 hours? They must find fuel to fix it. Okay, made that say. And Pacho call a year Facebook page in the show now. My messages, Emra. We'll be wrapping up shortly. Now, you're making way for others. Now, Kojo Wusu, dear Chuo Ediaba, or say, that's why you people have 44 views. Oh, are you talking to us about what is happening on our page currently? Okay, that is it. But we'll come back to the other issues now. To the other issues there at once. But Mamina a year Bayport for us Bayport the whole and pay pacho ope a year fixed deposit and faso bebrenano ewoso na ubetimi enye sika pa e de free modia pacho adopay Bayport ana esese odi osika ni nyina no ekokoto se utie ma no pay a fixed deposit no omo e de aba Bayport seven kancho se ukita 5,000 Ghana cedis and above or they call when ni more and they ubetimi e de aba beye investment with them na womo no better say a negotiate interest e de amount e very attractive enti eno no ebeboa ama usika nso enyine uye businesswoman pacho ukita sika ene sika no nse da mfanhye wudwa wudi ne mu afabra na fabeto eye Bayport fixed deposit ne mu na ebeboa wo pa na wonso wanya usika no eso emfaso anopay borua Bayport branches ni nyina mu na wone wo mo eni ensa woso eno achi no say o won kran ha na opese oni Bayport for edi enkomo a obeko eye kokomlemle ATTC school no enchen ho ape na woni wo mo edi enkomo from numbers no on 0245 153283 0245 153283 and after 0263 007 922 0263 007 922 na oni Bayport savings and loans any enkomo anopay na womo ebeje woso yepa. Now quick one a bit about a year appointees as eba free ene echo. As we speak, Adope would see Dr. Daniel Appiah. He was very emphatic, stating, "Sir, there are so many of the ministries. In fact, ministers no end the whole appointment beyond so end the whole. Enti say ye kase no ehon akwako here say appointment no ebetimi aba. Now that mami to your quick one about 5 minutes on the appointment. Na yen fan sorry sir.
Yes, Kwame.
Kessben.
Appointment abane. Kwame is yedi kaka. Na Mamechia Ora Joseph Yamin.
Okay.
Incoming Forestry Commission CEO or Land and Natural Resources Minister.
Oh, Joseph Yamin.
Oh, yes. Me see incoming and I wish say all this in the man. Now Kwame na de yes so or Reverend Dr. Joseph Yamin. Aha. Mamechia dog baby obi an be chacha pa. Kwame.
Yes.
I'll still stay in the creative.
Okay.
I'll stay in the creative because Kwame, President Mahama, ne manifesto, our creative, no Kwame juicy, fantastic one. But you and I aware say, the article 172 is it 127 or 172 rather. Say, a bread in nano as a sawman penny. Every financial end of financial year, Oman co presented budget or parliament, but it can be done on his behalf by the Minister of Finance.
Yes.
So that's you say, budget to be a ban or Ghana beyond, and your man in the budget. So if you have moved to the ministries and institutions and see how they prepare budgets, the ministries will come out with their own budget. Ya dibi beto bob, ye base. Your best ceremonies, all this stuff. Then the president initiative are there, and the ministry initiatives. And to move the command man penina, I find that the ministry and no echo defender, the finance minister hon. Now finance minister also the aqua command man penny. But on my penny catcher will say, Sadia we yen Timinian and na. There's nothing that you can do about it. You understand?
Yeah.
Say today, you the Rexoma. Uncle Rex, yes, creative art minister. Yade Minia Totwa Sadiq, Baba Sadiq, creative minister. That's what Baba Sadiq catch and say. No, yeah, we need to build, on my opinion, we need to build the theater that you have promised the Kumasi people. The first budget, SSC, the my opinion should be who's a no Debbie. Baby, I do need to me and build the theater today. SSC. Ye de ko baby answer na yamano yem push escape for the next budget. Say and first budget anymore. The creative people will talk about it. And it looks like say nipa no oto na o kan ye ho no wantimi nyawe. Baby anu akọ cabinet akọ defend say SSC yes sad no. But man need the final you find say how do you put the word? The final authority. It will catch us at you when you timina nipa no be day. That is why necessarily we don't need obi or the creative in send a be creative problem there man. Mr. Kwame, we need the people are only green. Our creative they can excel. Madam Elizabeth Tofuso Jare excelled. The time and now
and when I was suggesting.
Oh, for now, they're Kwame. Me suggest you will be out for now, but what I'm saying is, President Mahama should do away with the people in the creative. And the pressure bemomo to say there we because at a point me transina Kwame me analyze you should be. Me reading we say we persecuted Okrekumante for nothing. Because a lot of stuff you go to Kumasi, amphitheater you go to Oman Penuha, there's no money. You understand? On my page national boss say we will do it in July. And one man minister na be catch creative for so by July ni awie. By July no push and no man page say there's no money. Etu no sadi pano dia na why there. They come in see if I'm making sense.
Me too as you pa.
Eti ono dia no be. Eti na ye free so okra ko man take creative for call onya hwe na ya persecute no for nothing. Na ya hate no for nothing. E basa na my heart bleeds. So in order say Baba Sadiq, Uncle Rexoma, Bibi Bright, John Dumelo, which are tipping CM Fanonko, the deputy minister for Agrek, because a normal why no Agrek sector no ombe ye Ukraine why no ma be betime inspire more youth into the Agrek. Sanko phone now no Kwame ye form to baby na ye more new challenge na ye penko fo a woman creative no hwe Kwame they can excel. It's a bullet in a status a bar. And by the direct, yen can it said ye catches John Dumelu and a tourism art and culture minister. Yen can say Bibi Bright, our creative Numua as a minister for tourism art and culture. Yen can say Uncle Rex, I was criticizing a bina and now by about power. Na enoma or bebana be or man penibe deprive development. Nebia a free or no. Na yet one year come from at the channel no Kwame. Yeah, make sure say I didn't ever outside the creative people. I'll be very happy to see that.
I mean, I don't know so.
I did the quite yes, I believe that financial say ye.
Now you me Kessben. Me adum the TB your own kwan dey na say yala.
Very well. I don't pay by any income. I feel the kind of new share this 2025. Obatampa Process Center. Me na wase. Na afi etwa mu oni ye adwuma pa. Me dim sa afi sa na ye beto aso aye no. Mami nti na ye ni nkomo sa de adwuma yefo no ho city na anope de owo mayen.
Yo. We de say de e kan no. Afi nkometu afi so. Adwuma fo de obi ahoye. Omo bo adwuma say de fata. Sisi a mini hu kra sisi a mini sisi omo guso ehwa yafo. Ampa Obatampa said the moon anim no. A Juma yan say a posted yadie. Na anune yadia, Yamias I adom Yamam Dra. Some rea a month for a brew opposite to me, Mamma drew arm a de boam for. Inti anune Maye. Now said the enema posted the idea a Yamaman Kwan. Memma Eddie Bro, by 40 years echo, do titruna. Omo enya positive idea na idea ese e ka positive a e honama kwa bi e bata e junso so ano ho se de bi ameka no enumu na se junso dodo ben na abofofan yuri tra na de e junso free junso twa enumu e ba ye be mamu no enam na jumati tru ye ni se be ma ni oba hia ensuo no a ya e ba oba ho no ground no posted ground no de enso bi eboa no se de be ya enso no be mre na atumi anante e free be ma no ho akoba no ho enso ti enu ti na ma mema nkwa na wo saa honam akwa no na saa honam akwa na wo ho a ehono ni panyini eko 40 years ko no a ehono abo ni friend say enlargement enlarge na enlarge a ehun susuanso e de ba ne bi ni say e mama nipa no adwunso pii anajo. But you so bro by 4, 5, 6. If you so cry 10 times in the night, let's just say report it now. If free Johnson do one so and John umwa nipa no Johnson cancer or cancer or person Johnson. One man who I had not say good. And now to say, say ya de corner, Ebema say one more why how you say good. And no Asbema, Bedu baby no, Johnson counts how Johnson, I'll be Johnson now to me Johnson. But him answer not to me Johnson. Didim abedu baby no na your friend saying ujun so a ahodin a tie juso na chi no enti said ye wa unim no we be ka say pressure no e wo fom enti no junso no e ba no e ba ko ensuanso ni bi no ensuanso ni bi no say ma wo sisi ayo ya ma sam be ko fom betu ma junso boja e betu ma junso egu ho unim sa junso de and now said the musa bedu baby no o so one day so ojunso na junso no eden and maybe eno na above friend urinary retention no te ba ne sa no a wobɛkɔ hospital wokɔ a de bɛyɛ twa ya amount say edodo ban bi e friend catheter bɛhyɛ obambam na no mu na ɛbɛtwe dwuso na aka wa yase no na ama wotumi ayi den adwuso afa saa dodo ban no mu na saa ya de we ɛna me adom me ama me ho aduru a me de boa amanfo mfa de bia me ka sɛ me start adwuma we me hu sɛ nipa brɛ because nipa aba me nkyɛn me tuma ka sɛ virtually mo akɔ bebi a akɔgye nduru a ɛkyɛ sɛ ɔmo pɛ ayahwɛ a anya adwuma te ma metumi ka sɛ so obi ka sɛ opposite edu kyɛn me a ɔboa because nipa no a bɛba no obi bɛba no na wɔkyi ma bia obi kwa tumi ka sɛ bisa me sɛ ana positive no ɛnyɛ sunsumu yadeɛ because wakɔ bia sɛ a nkofisa ne ho bɛtɔ no ne ho ntɔ no obi ba onime tunchia tumi ka kyerɛ me sɛ metumi ma ne ho tɔ no a de say nyame ado bɛhwɛ na ne ho atɔ no enti no positive deɛ sɛ ka ho asɛm a na metumi ka sɛ me champion wɔ positive ayahwɛ mu me champion wɔ mu enti metumi ka sɛ metumi dem sɛ mebo ka sɛ obi bia ɔwɔ saa tibia no mu no ma nhwɛ ba bia ma nyɛ yansafoɔ ndwense bia o ma nyɛ nitifoɔ ndwense bia o wa chinchin membrebe nti wanya mboa nti sɛ wotimi nka wo ma bra wo ba wo beto sɛ positive nko ade medim sɛ simebo sɛ yankopɔn ade na ya esa akyɛde ahyɛ me nti sɛ wotimi nka sɛ me kasa de bia metimi ka sɛ wotimi nka wonya ya sɛ 90% 10% ne sɛ wanka so bɛyɛ den betu anamo aba wo ba nko ade a positive nka sɛ te sɛ nkra bɛ shrink no na positive na shrink a na wonya hotɔ because ndu na wo system no mu no manage junso no bibi ti say bofudo bi say tamsulosin hydrochloride amanfo call hospital de ma mo na doctor fo nanim say manage relax the muscles na wo prostate gland ne bladder no mu say de be ya junso no e ba manage no but en shrink prostate medro ni edura e shrink prostate no na kase te senkura no e ba shrink no e shrink na prostate no shrink so a ho atɔ mo nya e ba menche ni na this is the method am de show because say en shrink ya uhunto entinu me show bia so obi otemenka so wo tibie no mu a atadwe wate dende wonni wonti menka ene wate menka to anamo se oba oba ho beto wa ya so kateta oba obeyi wo kateta ana so bia wotumi dwunso oba yo mu aduro obeju so ansana ya sam aduro aba shinke post no na afi no wade ho ne bebre na aba ma so ya ma show mu bebrebe se se de to de ebie efensen ekwato line atum sɛ amanfo ndi adanse a obeti nipa bɛkasa mse because sometime ago yes ono na sisi oton aduro no western region very good ever since am hwɛ no ono aduro no ho tɔ no ano no asisi ai ono ade ne ho a ono ade ne ho di adanse man ko foto aduro no western region nti adanse de bebre nti sɛ wotimi nka man twintwan na ase andwin se bia o wakɔ bebre ho antɔ nti wo ma bra na ho betɔ to so mienu sem edro we dije migusu a ma ti set doctors 2 3 I refer nkofo omunkofo ba me ho na it's a lot of good news me sound so stress say even at minister of health beje do ya tum yame adum dije menya FDA approval me hwese metumi awaki true ama minister of health aje do no use the health facilities o mamu ha e ba ne say obi enu be sha catheter o mamu ha because nipa no ade ne start here the first point of call hospital obeko hospital no edu edema no a edu edema bi se tamsulosin hydrochloride and finasteride no e manage junso no en shinke hospital no into be no last minute demand a share rubber na wo call hospital ye share rubber inya ye share rubber pe doctor ni wa wie wo call next time a unko hu doctor bi obehu nurse on na bese san ina obese san e friend say carry na ma ho na edu edema ye painkiller and antibiotic and no into ye o sa na ayi no se chira ka sia ne say ye one day obeko say eye cancer into say den ya yo surgery cancer no na edu beko into me so bi otemenka say positive ya den no a e ha manfo bibrebe no me simi wona duro na obi aso wedo no kyame a oboa nti wotimenka man transe na ndwindwin se bi enye anitifo yansani netu anamom bra oba ho beto nti masam titi ane say prostrate no ade bi a friends shewa it is within the etuo akere wo so you hwe say the obi agbowo dem na okutetuo na opeso okun wo na within definitely obekun sana positive e be shewa definitely do because most of the people are supposed to prostrate no and na ekun omo this is what me kan one of the obi shemachi akwan a this is the greatest gift between them on say obi shemachi akwan wo prostrate okay and so what me kan radio so and so you be na catch there one so me na me catch wa gidi ne to na mombra oba ho beto me kasa say ya me kasa wa na say me person me bua ankwankru bia wo say because me kasa na me a victim of it okay do we na say me ho ya dey and me tuwe ya me ni or house how no until say saying come so me dimiti epempem epe aya hwe ba bi commitment back say ma ko be say 100 places because ukwa edoni ho edo be ma wo no e mane juju so no ensinke positive no a ho beto wo nti kakra metumi aka ne say wanya ma abo ma hwe omo no almost enkoso enka asem ne chenkrofo one good news is this recently wanya atim efrem dodo na say obi na ma hwe no ama no ato no a ode no ma no nti mi omo nkoso sa say de be ya de be bo wanya wo sati be because positive de ya papa nti
afa fa wo numbers no etu jama
very good am ma kasa sa on kai me
then na makai we over I don't know how much Makai.
Me no money is 0553 800 678 0553 800 678 Kumasi no money here. No agent of Kumasi. No money is 0249 another 49 61 66 0249 another 49 61 66 when you Kumasi ni nkwaso mfresa anoma no na atakrade ana western region ni nkwaso and it's 0246 04 34 58 0246 04 34 58 mon frefres ano meswe na mo fra moyamwa me wo fifi prat last of all kaswa o ba udru kaswa o so pe yenya no station o ko station wa ka say wo pe fifi down taxi
as dog
we there me da was say wa ma me mra the be wrap up Dr. Appiah Kubi mu according to statement speech President Mahama Nra and we share the thematic areas now on my 4 we share governance aspect no and constitutional reform and very very critical and nuna ya bo hundoro as a movement for change and it's one of the themes
but which areas within the constitution and because you were entrenched positions and then the non-entrenched position of the constitution and see which aspects
we share article 70 of 1992 constitution I am a president to me our appointee heads of independent constitutional bodies. A haoba. What you here? For example, issues are EC chairperson. FMU bia when there's an election. And to me who say apart from Afarijan, right? The position of the EC chairperson in this modern era has been conterminous with the tenure of the president. I say president bia eba aban so ordinary EC boss eba or call not in the EC boss echo. Same with the CDS, IGP, and other independent constitutional, the CJ.
No, but to put that in perspective, for instance, the Electoral Commission. Afarijan a survey
and I said with the exception of Afarijan.
Yes, but I'm also drawing the point. Say Afarijan survey to say or call retirement. Okay, or no obia end. After retirement, there needed to be an appointment. And so appointment when President Mahama, right? Charlotte was saying yes, and then President Akufo-Addo came, and then we are told that there is a petition by Yena Hunsem Bebre and. She was removed, right? So, I mean, that is the first to happen. President Bianwa Waba EC chair. but the records must reflect.
But I'm also reflecting on the future of our political landscape today. Jim Mensah, haven't you heard calls from the NDC for her removal?
But she's not been removed yet.
No, but I mean, they won. They say
do you believe so?
Well, it's likely. I mean, tit for tat.
Prima facie the bad.
But
there should be a prima facie established against
in some BVDs, BVRs, but I don't even want to go there. Let's go to the real issues. What was the constitution? No? There are laws made for a particular time of a country. I think 32 years constitution way has served us enough. Already no. A DAC or 8th parliament no actually nyema bebre. Especially the gridlock between these two major parties and even the different arms of government. Until we need to go for a constitutional reform.
Okay.
It's very, very critical.
Okay.
The aspect of youth development and industrialization. Me a metina hanu. Because of our Amanyo 70. Me a metina hanu. Youth development. I'm a product of a very, very great policy of youth development. But China.
I see.
I was the first black African to ever set a tech startup in China. Many Chinese entrepreneurs so Alibaba Create Competition 2019.
Wow.
The first black man in the Silicon Valley of China.
I see.
I set up a $40 million valued company, tech startup. Minya sika fi Chinese government and other private equity firms. Intino, my take on development of the youth in the same universities, they be 300,000 people. How then do we support these people? I always say there are two concepts. There are those that leave university and want employment, and there are those that have the capacity and capability to create that employment. So if you tackle the creators, they will drag those that are in need of employment, so that we will not have a huge public expenditure on work for government employees. Oh, share your budget na de biana na esun government wages. Government's business is not to create businesses within its bloated government structure, but to pave way for the private sector and create pragmatic policies to support private enterprises. And that's why we've campaigned on an enterprise economy.
Okay.
Intimidua, let us look at supporting youth entrepreneurs. Truly youth entrepreneurs. And it has to be deliberate. Support you in their goal to reorient our economy from an import-driven one to an export-driven one. Goods are imported. Let's look at our tertiary institutions and let's support them with research and development. Support you with seed capital.
Okay.
And then create the enabling environment for venture capitalists, angel investors to come and pave way for a new era for the private sector.
Dr. Ramsey Enosa Mamena, senior communications team member for Movement for Change. I'm grateful for your time. And then Reverend Paul Ziga. Now, my Zoom Lion Ghana Limited for Abaso. And ceremony no course we no. In fact, more proper acronym Black Star Square Hall of Water. Said they're not a half a fair more cleaning and come up. We are told say woman so the bobo and I remember Ghana flags a bobo crumina. We are told say woman a year in it is Zoom Lion Ghana Limited. I'll pay congratulations to you. Yeah, that was the Papa Benjamin Shamo for the dedication to our nation Ghana. So when she said, Obekoswa, and he said, yeah, if you money in the Necrono, you won't take. When you mean you must say, oh, fast circle, how could see La Paz and the idea, promo you fipa. It is a Honso Shama City, but your mama when in Kohoba, Zoom Lion for. I don't pay you that one say your bomb about, so God bless you. I'm sure me that say me need to Kwame Appiah Kubi, Mr. Speaker, highly grateful. There's only 46 minutes after 9. This is where time permit us to draw the curtain down. So Joe comes up next on this sports team. No at the mid production, no air 12. So I don't do me any ochina ya wada ya besaba na ya ba ababeso. I mean sure.